Okay, guys, welcome back to another weekly watch list video right here. And as I opened up the platform, the futures market, even though our market is closed for the day, for Memorial Day holiday. By the way, if there's anyone out there that has served for this country, thank you so much. And we'll get right into it here in a second. But as I was opening the platform, I noticed the futures market was up huge and it was having trouble around this. And by the way, I totally did not expect to jump into a live trade right before, making a weekly watch list video. They're long enough. But I wanted to show you guys here when the market's closed in the US, you get a lot of this type of grinding higher, not much selling going on in the futures market. Now, when we come in tomorrow, things could be totally different. But I did see an opportunity here to short it at this 4,200 level. Once it broke this 9 EMA and started to show a little bit of rolling over, I took 3 contracts short. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close these out for a small gain, just so I can start the weekly watch list video. But I just wanted to show you guys here, the trouble that it was having up here couldn't really hold, but now it's got some trend lines here that it's contending with. So I wanted to see if this first trend line would break. This first trend line is more of, this whole entire Globex trading day. This other trend line is more of what's going on right now. So I want to see further breakdown and then possibly take some profit down here at the 41.95, if it does come down to that level. So we're seeing a live trade right now. So just bear with me while we wait this one out for a minute. And while we're waiting on this, hit the thumbs up for the video. And if you're new, consider subscribing. We have new videos just about every single day. And you can see how down here, the SPY, the cash, ETF here, it's not trading right now. So here we go. We got the move down to this, this trend line. Let's see if it holds up. This was my price target when I first got in. So it would probably be wise of me to take off a contract. So now I have 2 contracts long, just locking in some gains. If this trend line breaks, even better. And volume is very light when the US market's closed. Just keep that in mind. All right, seeing a bounce here, which is normal. See how the market works in waves? But it came to this area here and had a lot of trouble. And that's why I think we're seeing a little bit more of a sell-off. I think this is a first, by the way, getting into a live trade during our weekly watch list video. Taking one more contract off at second price target here. Still seeing some downside. All right. I'm putting out my last order here. So 75 bucks, not too bad. Just coming in here, seeing this. So now let's get right into this weekly watch list video. Sorry about that at the beginning, but it was a live trade. You got an extra something special out of this video. Hit the thumbs up for me. So this is our earnings for the week. Obviously, the market is closed today. The reason why the futures market is open is because overseas markets are open and it's a Globex product. So we're closed today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting to wind down with the earnings reports. But we have some interesting ones this week. So if you're interested, check those out. We also have our economic calendar for the week. And here we are here. Tuesday, Wednesday, we have the beige book, which is the Fed, the data that they get to use towards monetary policy. So this is a big one there on Wednesday. And then on Friday, it's the non-farms payroll. Huge day on Friday. So just be aware of these things. You have the ADP employment report on Thursday, and that's usually just a precursor to the real NFPs on Friday. So just be aware of that kind of stuff there. And then getting into the charts, we're going to take a look at the SPY and where might we go? Okay. So in last week's video, we were talking about how bullish we were. Okay. Why were we so bullish? Where did I get that from? Well, coming into the week, we had this really nice technical bounce at 20%. This was a level we had on our charts for months. We hit it very close to the penny. I like to say to the penny, but that is irrelevant. This is an excellent spot here to see a technical bounce. So that's why we saw this bounce. We were in for 7 straight red weeks. We were coming into the 8th week. Very rarely, and I went over this last week, we didn't even see that in 1999, the year 2000, when we saw the bubble burst. You had 7 straight down weeks, and then you saw a bit of a bounce because the market is not just going to go down forever and ever and ever. These moving averages that you see here, I have the 20 EMA, I have the 50 moving average, and then the 200. These, when they get so extended, always gravitate back to these indicators. So when you see something that is so far off, like here, so far off these levels, they'll come back. They'll come back down, because we are in a stair-stepping down on the SPY. Very clear. We're making lower lows and lower highs. That doesn't mean you're not going to see these relief rallies. So that's what we saw here on week 8. So got that nice move. And that's why I was bullish. All my picks for last week, out of every pick, only one was a potential short. So going into the week, I was bullish. So, in our Discord, that was all known. It's all posted every weekend, just like I posted, for this week, what we see coming up. So what are we looking at now? On a weekly level, I have 420 as potential resistance. And then on the daily chart, you have 426 at the 50 moving average. So when things get under the 50, sometimes you'll see resistance around that level. So these are areas to watch. We may chop around a little bit. That's anybody's guess, but these huge outsized moves that you see from a base, those are usually where most of the move in these relief rallies comes from before it starts to, putter out here and then eventually makes even lower lows, which is what I think we're going to do. But I don't think that we can't have another decent week, especially picking stocks. And what we have seen, and I'm just going to pull up this chart here. What we've seen is the dip buy, the dip buy, the dip buy. We've seen this all week long. Dip buy, just a nice grinding higher day there on Friday. But we're starting to see that 10, 11 a.m. after a sell-off, we're seeing that dip buy come back. Right here, 9:55, 10 a.m., dip buy the whole time. Right here, right off the bat, nice buying. Over here at 10 a.m. on Monday, nice dip buying. We didn't see that for a very long time. So that is an excellent sign. So let's see. Let's go over to the Qs now. Where might we be going? We're still close to the top here of this consolidation. We did break the 20 EMA, which is a very good thing. We haven't been over the 20. We haven't broken the 20 since back in March. So that's a great sign. Broke the 20, and now we have a weekly level at 317, and then the 50 moving average at 328. This is all stuff we're going to have to watch. We have a trend line that's coming in. So, we have some things to contend with. We had some really nice moves, so we'll see what happens. The last time we had these nice moves, we blew through the 20, had stopped here at the 50, and then blew through that, and then got up to the 200. Am I saying that we're going to get up to 361? No, I'm not saying that's going to happen, right away. That might not ever happen. But just keep in mind, when you're trading markets, they go down, they bounce, they go down, make lower lows, they bounce, and they go down and make lower lows. And now we're bouncing. Totally normal. So now going over to the Dow Jones Industrial, this is something I posted. Each one of these bounces that we've seen has been 8%. 8%, exactly. The same bounces. So now we're coming into this area here. Will we start to roll over? That's anybody's guess. Who knows? We could chop around a little bit. We're right under the 50 there at 336. So just something to keep aware of. Like I said, they go down, we bounce back up. Go down, make a lower low, bounce back up. Not making new highs though. Lower low, bounce back up. Not making new highs. It's just relief rallies. Totally normal. So we'll see where we go. Will we break the historical trend here of this 8% bounce? Let's just keep that on watch. So we went over that. And now for the picks of the week. Last week, we knocked it out of the park. Very, very nice plays last week. So I'm going to start. And a lot of these are from last week that I see continuation with. So this is mRNA, Moderna. We had the double bottom. This is what first led me to this stock. And then I said, you know what? If we break this resistance, then we can see some good things happen. We broke out of that resistance. And now we're over the 20 EMA, coming into the 50 here. So what I'm going to be looking for, are we going to break this spot right here and start to make higher highs? So we stopped there to the dime on Friday, 148 area. Let's see if we could get a break out of there. And then you have the 50. If we could break the 50, then your weekly level is 188 to fill some gap here. So that's why Moderna is on my watch list, still bullish on the name. Disney started to bottom out. You'd like to see this for some nice moves up. We're over the 20 EMA. Very nice moves. This was excellent trading. Anybody that got long on this name from our last weekly watch list video, this was a great move. You know, percentage wise, that's a nice move from 100. You have 100 to 110. That's 10% gain here on Disney after bouncing off 100, retesting 100, holding 100, and then ripping. Very nice. And the volume has gotten stronger on that. So Disney, I'm still bullish on this. Let's see where we go. You know, it is still a little bit overpriced of a stock, so keep that in mind as far as PE goes. But it was kind of due. It was so beaten down. It's trading at under COVID levels. So if we look here at the 3-year, before COVID, you were trading at 130, 150, right? We're down to 100. So, you know, looking for a bounce here, especially now that they have some streaming platforms, I don't think that that's such a bad idea to look for some strength here in Disney. So that's why I'm long on Disney. We have Pfizer up next. These are all stocks that were on last watch list. We had the breakout of the 50. Took notice of that in our trade plan last week. We said there's a trend line here coming into play. See how it responds around there. It's kind of stalled out. And it's also stopped at this 55 area that you can pretty much go back to this part of last year and see that there's been some resistance and pullbacks and some consolidation. So you just have some overhead supply here. If it could get through here and, you know, first by holding up this trend line, then maybe you could get back to this level right here at 61s. So keep this in mind. It has been a very bullish chart. If you look back at, you know, just about a little bit over a year, it's been bouncing off of this trend line the entire time. This is a bullish chart. This is a beautiful chart. I love this chart. So that's why I'm going to continue to think maybe we break out to the upside on Pfizer. So that's that one. XLV, next down the list. It's been trading in a range. The 125 has been support. Going back to last year, it was resistance, then support. Support, support, support. Called it out here. Got the move, a beautiful trade up to the 50 moving average where it stopped. So this one is going to be a wait and see. If we break the 50 and hold up, then I have to think we're headed back to the 140s, which would be a nice little trade there. This is the healthcare ETF. So these like to do well in high inflation periods. Next one up is XBI. This is something that we noticed because it was hitting a double bottom here. So the COVID low, it retraced the entire move. So where we hit COVID low, went up to 175 and now we went back to 60. All right, this has been totally beaten up. Now we're getting that bounce. Consolidation. Looks like this one wants to break out right at the 20 EMA on the daily chart. If it breaks here, then you have the 50 at 80. That's what I'm looking at right now. So XBI, that's why that's on my watch list. Citibank is next. This has been a very choppy stock, to say the least. But Buffett got involved here. We saw a lot of action in the stock. But now we're coming to resistance, and it stopped at resistance. If it can break over here, you have a gap to fill to 57.50. If not, and it rejects, you are over the 50 moving average, which is bullish. And by the way, I'm noticing a lot more stocks are getting over the 50 moving average, which is nice to see. So if we can break over here, I gotta think 57.50 is gonna come pretty quickly. So Citibank, that's why that's on my list. I got two more. AMD is one of them. Support was very clear here. Resistance was very clear here. So resistance around, you could even say 102.50 has been pretty good resistance. 103 has been resistance. We have a trend line here. If you guys can see this line here, this is going to be a very strong trend line because it has already touched 1, 2, 3 times. This would be the fourth touch of it. See how AMD responds here this week, because this one is coming into some, technical resistance here. So AMD's on my list. If we can break this, then you have up to the 200, which is sitting at 117. We're over the 50 moving average, which is nice. We held up over that. So this is looking good. Breaking out of this is going to be key because we tried to do this once before, got rejected with the overall market, coming back up. If we could get some strength with the overall market, you can see this one really move. Nvidia, same way. This broke resistance on Friday. We're over the 20 EMA on heavy volume because it had its earnings. Now you have a gap to fill up to 208. This can provide a very nice day trade here. So keep Nvidia on your watch to a move up to the 208s, to the 50 moving average at 213. This is still giving you a lot of room. We all know this one can really move. I mean, from 160 to 188 in 2 days. So that is 28 points. It can really, really move. So this is, a nice break of this previous resistance. Previous support, resistance, broke that. Now I have to think that 200 to 210 is now going to be in the cards with Nvidia. So that's it, guys. Sorry for the long, wasn't expecting that live trade at the beginning, which we saw not a bad, for not even thinking I was going to trade today, taking $75 out of the market. This is what we like. This is how we like to start a holiday. So hit the thumbs up for the video. See you back on the next one. Take care, guys.